a major challenge we have in the country has to do with handling of the fish. That is right from the water till it gets onto our table. Now, you've been an international consultant. Can you tell us briefly how we can get it right?
We were around 30 years ago in the same situation as Canada today. And we had to start training the fishermen in how to handle the fish right. Because the preservation of the fish starts as soon as it's taken out of the water. So it's important that we keep the fish on ice from the time we take it out of the water. And the same at the factories. We train the people in how to do a real good handling of the fish on the arrival to the factory, which means do it into chill store before it gets processed, and then from processing straight into cold stores or chilled room and transport out to the shops with refrigerated trucks and not open lorries or anything. We kept the cool line all the way through, and that's why we succeeded.
Okay. Now, keeping the cool line all through, Ghana, the major problem we have has to do with post-harvest losses. That is, if we get the fishes from the sea, processing it before exporting it out of the country, sometimes because we do not handle it properly, we record a lot of post-harvest losses. How do we work on this? How do we get it right?
Well, as I mentioned just before, it starts at sea. And if it's not chilled down, we will get the post-harvest loss. And it can easily be brought down if the vessels are well equipped, they have ice on board, and the fisherman knows exactly how to handle the fish, and that you have receiving facilities in a proper order in the harbors. And that is the key, because then you can bring down the post-harvest loss. And it's huge. I've seen it here.
Okay. Now, you've been a consultant in the fishing industry. How lucrative is that business?
Sorry?
You've been a consultant
Yes.
in the fishing industry. How lucrative is that business?
Oh. If you ask the factories, it's not lucrative. But if you look at the figures, yes, it is lucrative. But to get a lucrative business, you had to do value adding on the fish and to secure a good high quality and a steady supply. And that's how we have managed to grow our industry and be one of the major exporters in the world.
Okay. Now, how should Ghanaian farmers, fish farmers, do, or what should they do to capture or to be able to capture the international market?
I would say the small farmers you have here, they should form some cooperatives, because as alone they cannot develop. Because organizations and so will not lend money to a farmer with 1 or 2 ponds. But if you have an association, it will be much easier. And we have a long tradition for corporations in Denmark. One of our biggest is Tulip, which is a major butchery. But that's the way they should do here with the farmers. Go together so they can get into the organization and get some fundings for development.
Okay. Now, if you're looking at fish farming in Ghana, the whole model or the whole concept is relatively new, but it is gradually catching on with a lot of farmers in the country. Now, we being in the system, how can we expand on the business model?
I would say still form some associations or get some big companies, because small farmers cannot survive. Not in the future. It would be big enterprises.
Okay. So can you tell us briefly what business model in terms of fish farming that international organizations are using and is working for them?
Yes, but they are not, as I mentioned, they go to the private industry, they support the private industry, and they have to come up with a feasible business model. And if you do that, there are fundings around the world to finance these businesses. And they can eat, and they should have their own processing facilities too when they grow big. Another disadvantage here in Ghana is that there is no feed mill. So the fish farmers, they have to import or get feed imported. and that's expensive. You have to establish a feed mill here.
Okay, so what you are implying is that there's the essence for us to establish a feed processing mill in Ghana here.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now, what we normally use in Ghana is a traditional system of preserving our fish. That is by smoking, salting, and all that, and drying sometimes. Now, how can we imbibe some experience from you?
Still, it's product development, because we have the same system before. We smoked or dried fish and all fresh. But today, it's frozen fish, and it's well-preserved fish. So I would say the first way is product development into fillets, into fish fingers, and at the same time use the byproducts from the production to create cheap products which poor families can afford.
Okay. Now, one other major challenge fish farmers in Ghana do constantly complain about is the use of light when fishing. What do you have to say about that?
I must say, light of real fishing, yes, we know from some countries, we do not use it, and it's not allowed in our country. But I can't see any harm. I'm sorry, but if you go for the carpenter fishing also in the lakes, it's the only way to attract them.
Okay. Then any final words of advice to Ghanaian fishermen out there?
Yes, stay together, get more skill, learn that the quality has to be the priority.
Okay. That's all we have. Thank you so much. Well, we've been speaking to Mr. Ole Kirkegaard, a fishing consultant from Denmark. Up next, we have our daily market trading.